engine's thermostat and radiator cap are critical cooling system parts, so it's a good idea to replace them when the cooling system is serviced or when the engine is running too hot or too cold. To show you how it's done, we're going to replace the thermostat and radiator cap on a 2008 Ford Fusion, right here, right now. Welcome to the AutoZone DIY Garage. Before beginning the replacement procedure, let's have a look at how the thermostat and radiator cap work. The thermostat is charged with keeping the coolant that protects your engine at the correct temperature. To enable quick warm-up and efficient running, the thermostat remains closed and prevents coolant from circulating through the radiator until the engine has reached a specified temperature. Once that temperature has been reached, the thermostat opens to allow full circulation of coolant through the radiator, which transfers heat to the air that flows past it. The radiator cap, which can be found either on the top of the radiator or on the coolant expansion tank, maintains system pressure to help prevent boilover. A pressure relief valve in the cap will vent system pressure if it becomes excessive when temperature increases. The thermostat for the 2.3-liter four-cylinder engine of this 2008 Ford Fusion starts to open at 176 degrees to 183 degrees Fahrenheit, and it should be fully open at 207 degrees. If engine temperature rises significantly above 207 degrees or never reaches 176 degrees, the thermostat is probably defective. On many modern cars, including this Fusion, the engine control computer will set a trouble code if the thermostat isn't working correctly. Check out our code reader video for more information. Once the thermostat has been removed, there's a simple way to test it. Just fill a pan with enough water to cover the thermostat. Put the thermostat in the pan, but make sure that the button-shaped temperature sensor doesn't contact the pan. Put a thermometer in the pan and turn on the heat. The thermostat should stay closed until the specified opening temperature. That would be 176 degrees to 183 degrees for the Fusion. It should be completely open when the water reaches 207 degrees. Don't lean over the pot while the water is heating, and don't remove the thermostat until it has cooled. Testing a thermostat isn't difficult, but since the part is both important and inexpensive, it's a good idea to install a new one when you're working on the cooling system. Did you know? Operating a vehicle without a thermostat is a very bad idea. Fuel economy and performance will suffer and engine damage could result. Okay, let's get to work and replace our Fusion's thermostat and radiator cap. Before performing any repair procedures, make sure your safety goggles are in place. When working near a hot engine, it's a good idea to wear a long-sleeve shirt as well. And of course, you want to make sure that the engine is cold before you service the cooling system. Never open the radiator cap of a hot engine. Severe burns can result. Before the thermostat can be serviced, the coolant has to be drained from the cold engine. To access the coolant drain petcock on the bottom of the radiator, the vehicle should be raised on jack stands, following the manufacturer's instructions for safe jacking. Then, using a thick rag for protection, open the radiator cap half a turn. Once any pressure has escaped, the cap can be removed. The system generally won't be pressurized if the engine is fully cooled. Next, the radiator petcock is opened and the coolant drained into a large pan. It will be replaced with new coolant, and the old coolant will be taken to a waste disposal center. You can locate a disposal center for your area code on the EPA website. Coolant is poisonous. Don't leave it where children or pets can get to it. Before the cooling system is refilled, it should be flushed to remove minerals and deposits that can hinder cooling and damage system components. The thermostat housing on Ford's 2.3-liter four-cylinder is located on the side of the engine, forward of the exhaust manifold and above the air conditioning compressor. The upper radiator hose and a heater hose connect to it. The thermostat and housing are combined in a single unit and must be replaced together. That's true of some modern cars. On most vehicles, the thermostat can be replaced and the original housing reused. On most cars, it's easy to find the thermostat because the upper radiator hose is usually connected to the thermostat housing. On General Motors V8s, for example, the housing and thermostat are atop the engine, front and center. On some cars, locating and servicing the thermostat can be difficult. For example, on 2.2-liter GM four-cylinder Ecotec engines, the thermostat is on the firewall side of the engine, under the exhaust manifold and adjacent to the water pump. 3 bolts retain the Fusion's thermostat housing assembly. The bolts can't be seen from this vantage point, but with the 1/4-inch drive ratchet, extension, and socket, they can be removed. Once the bolts have been removed, the thermostat housing can be moved to allow access to the hose clamps that secure the radiator and heater hoses. With the hoses disconnected, the housing and thermostat unit can be lifted out of the engine compartment. Before installing our premium brand thermostat and housing, make sure the gasket surface is clean and then coat both sides of the gasket with the sealant like Permatex High-Tack. Install the gasket and housing, torquing the thermostat housing, retaining the bolts to the factory recommended specification. For the Fusion, that spec is 89 inch-pounds. You can also use Permatex water pump and thermostat RTV silicone gasket in place of a conventional gasket if you wish. In a tight spot like this, it's a good choice. For engines that are fitted with a conventional thermostat, which can be serviced independent of the thermostat housing, make sure to install the spring end toward the engine. Before refilling the cooling system, dirt and deposits should be flushed out of the engine using radiator cleaner and a flush and fill kit from AutoZone. You'll find a video in the AutoZone video library that provides an overview of the cooling system, as well as one that describes the flush and fill process. Finally, we'll install that new radiator cap, which will ensure that our cooling system will operate at the correct pressure. That completes our discussion of thermostat and radiator cap replacement. We hope this information helps if you decide to do the job yourself. For more information about thermostat replacement or any other automotive service topic, be sure to talk to the experts at AutoZone. Get in the zone. AutoZone.